I'm sorry, ma'am. You just can't put all this in that one hole. Hey guys, welcome back to Semper Fi Mechanic. My name's Thomas. And today's video is what happens when you don't watch one of my YouTube videos before you try to fix your car. I mean, God bless this woman, but this is the craziest shit I've seen in a long time. I've got a story to tell you. And a lot of my stories are a decade old or 7 years old, 3 months old, whatever. But this one was today. It's about an hour and a half old. So what happened was, if you've been following me, you know I'm a mobile mechanic, but my mobile mechanic vehicle is down. We need a new one. We're waiting on a rich YouTuber to help us out, but ain't nobody helping us out. So I'm gonna start having to ride my Huffy to go to these calls. Cheapskates. Nah, I'm kidding. But if you don't know what's going on, I'll post one of the videos up one of these corners. So when you're done watching this one, you can click on it, get caught up to speed. So I got a few phone calls today asking about my mobile mechanic service because my online thing still says open. I'm not closing it down. I just tell people I can't get to them right now. Well, then a woman calls and says she has a bunch of check engine lights on and a bunch of lights are flashing. Even her windshield wiper fluid is empty. She said, but she's putting all the fluids that she can buy from AutoZone in her vehicle. And she doesn't know what's going on. So I'm intrigued a little bit. I'm like, so you're buying all the fluids? She goes, yes, everything that I can find in AutoZone. I'm buying it and I'm putting it in the vehicle and it's just not filling up. All these lights are still going off. I'm thinking, well, that sounds a little bit weird. Like, so she's buying everything and putting it in her vehicle? So I'm intrigued by this, but I lied to her. I said, hey, right now, one of my mechanics has the work vehicle out, so we have nobody available to come to you. But if you can get the vehicle to me, I'll look at it. She agrees with that. I give her the address. Next thing you know, here comes this tow truck. As they're dropping it off, my wife pulls up, and she's madder than hell. She's like, I told you not to have any vehicles in my driveway. Because last time I did this, I ended up getting backed up. I had like 5 vehicles out here, and the wife had to park next door, so can't be doing that no more. So they dropped the vehicle off, and the woman pulls up with her husband. I thought she was like single or widowed or whatever because she's doing all this herself. So she jumps out, and she comes over here. Like I said, she's like in her mid-60s, something like that. So a little bit older, right? She had her workout clothes on and everything, and she was fit. More fit than I am, man. Like, shit. She come walking over here, shakes my hand, about breaks it. I mean, she's showing dominance. Like I said, when 2 males meet, we got to figure out who's in charge. But she made it clear that she's in charge. It snapped my hand. My fingers was like this. And I was like, damn, woman. I wanted to get her back and just bring her to her knees. But, you know, I thought better of it. I've already got a few lawsuits, man. I can't get no more. So after this woman showed her dominance and put me in check, we started talking about the vehicle. She goes on to explain to me she's put like $200 or $300 worth of fluids in this vehicle. I'm not sure what the year was. I didn't really pay attention to it, but I know it was one of them newer Ford Taurus. So we're talking and she's showing me all these receipts. And she's bought brake fluid, she's bought oil, she bought transmission fluid, 4 or 5 different fluids. I'm like, okay. And she's like, yeah, I bought all these and I'm putting everything in, but all these lights keep coming up. Even my windshield wiper fluid that I put in, it's not working either. And I'm like, all right, man, well, I'll do a diagnosis and we'll get back with you. I was like, you just go home. I'll let you know tonight what I find out. She's like, okay. I get the $60 from her. Everything's good to go. So she goes home. My wife's over here bitching at me. And I'm like, look at this woman. Look at all this stuff she bought in. I said, see, she does her own work, right? You got me out here doing all this stuff. I said, I already fixed everybody else's vehicle. Can't fix yours. How about you fix your own? Well, it didn't go very well. She told me I was sleeping on the couch. Whatever, man, whatever. So I pull this car in the garage and I start doing the diagnosis. I got the code reader on. So I go to start the vehicle to see if it starts. Because remember, it got towed in. So I go to start it. And it makes this noise that I've never even heard. I mean, I'm like, what is that? I get out of the vehicle and I'm looking around and this sludge type stuff came out the exhaust. I was like, what is that? So I popped the hood and I remember she kept saying, all the fluids are empty. So I checked the oil. Now it wasn't empty. It was a little bit low, but you could tell the oil hasn't been changed in a very long time. It was just really dark. The texture of it was really weird. So I was like, man, she must have not changed their oil in like 3 or 4 years. The hell's she talking about topping her vehicle off? Because this shit hasn't been touched in a long time. Go to check her transmission fluid. Well, this vehicle don't even have a dipstick. It's one of the vehicles that have a lifetime transmission fluid, or you get transmission fluid change at 100,000 miles and you go to the dealership. It's the ones that you can't actually add fluid to unless you go underneath the vehicle, take one of the bolts out, and then you pump the fluid back in that way. And I'm thinking, there ain't no way she's out here doing all that. All of the bottles was in the back of the car, and they're all empty. So I can't really figure out what's going on. I'm like, all right, nothing's been changed. There's no leaks. I've done pressure tests. I've done everything. There is no leaks anywhere. I don't know what to diagnose this as, except she needs an actual oil change. We can do a transmission flush, things like that. I'll top off her windshield wiper fluid for her, but there's nothing else. There's no leaks. So I call the woman and tell her, I'm like, listen, there's no leaks on this vehicle. You still have oil in there, but it hasn't been changed in a very long time. Your transmission fluid is fine. It's just old, needs changed. So there's no way that you've been putting fluid in. I said, this is the same old stuff that's 3 or 4 years old. Hell, it might even be the factory stuff. She goes, no, I swear to God, I've been putting it in. I said, ma'am, I don't know what to tell you. I said, but this is my diagnosis. I said, you can come get your vehicle. Now, you know, she's mad because she's like, no, I've been topping my vehicle off. So this woman's just bitching at me. She's like, there's no way. You didn't do this right. You're trying to just fleece me out of my money. You didn't even look at the vehicle. You know, just the same old shit. When you come to a diagnosis or you don't come to a diagnosis, but it's something different than what they expected. So I said, ma'am, just come get your vehicle. Nothing else I can do here. She shows up about 10 o'clock at night that night to get the vehicle, and she is pissed. She's like, I'm going to show you what I've been doing. And I was like, all right, ma'am, go ahead. She has her fuel tank. She goes over there. She starts putting her fuel in. I'm like, okay, whatever. She puts her gas can down, grabs her oil, pops it open, grabs her funnel, sticks it right in the gas tank, starts filling it up. And I go to say something, and I'm like, ma'am. And she said, no, you just wait. I was like, is this really happening right now? Am I really seeing this? All this is going into the fuel tank. And then she grabs the transmission fluid, puts 4 or 5 different things in there, shuts the door and says, see, now check it. That's what I've been doing every time. You said I haven't been filling it up. And I'm just sitting there looking at her like this. I did not believe this was actually happening. I was looking around. I was like, is Ashton Kutcher here? Am I getting punked? Am I getting that famous on YouTube, bud? My 2,000 subscribers? That I'm going to get punked now? That's how famous I am? No. That's how fucking stupid this woman was. I didn't do anything else with this vehicle. I just looked at her calmly. I said, ma'am, this is over my head. I am very sorry. This is something I cannot fix. And I was thinking, it's because it's stupidity, and I can't fix your stupidity. I said, I'm very sorry, ma'am. You'll just have to take it somewhere else. And then she looks at me, she goes, this is what I get bringing it to some mechanic working out of his house. And I was like, yes, I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm sorry. And as she loads up, she flips me the bird as she's pulling off. I mean, I did make $60 for all this, but this isn't some bullshit story. This is 1,000% true. It's adding everything to the gas tank. That's what happens when you watch other people's YouTube channels. If you want to learn how to work on your vehicle, you subscribe to this channel so you're not making the mistakes. You know what? I'll actually post a video right here on how to do some basic maintenance on your vehicle. So like always, Semper Fi till next time.